Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be doing some more movie reviews today. And today, yes, we are seeing on your screens is accurate. We are looking at 28 Days Later. I never watched this movie, not until now. I've been seeing a lot of different discussions online. I know apparently they're supposed to be getting a third film. And I figured, you know what? I never really paid attention to the first and second film, which again, I have seen the second film as of recording of this video. And I want to go ahead and I want to give this the best review possible. Again, I know this is an older movie. This came out in 2002. And I just want to give this... I know these movies have mixed reviews, and I see the reason why. So, if you guys are not familiar with 28 Days Later, starring, of course, Cillian Murphy and Naomi Harris, and among others, it has to deal with these animal activists go in to try to save these chimpanzees, and they are informed that they have a virus. They don't care. They're not listening to the scientists. And then when the woman breaks one out, it attacks her. It kills her. It turns her into this, eating crazy, zombified, person. And then it just, it spreads and it spreads and it spreads. Then Jim, who's played by Murphy, wakes up. He was a bicyclist, got hit by a car. He was in a coma for however long. He wakes up in Cambridge, and I want to say London as well. I think just Cambridge. I could be wrong. And when he does, he realizes he's all alone, and the world's just, empty. And I will say this, it was cool to see a Pepsi can when he was just devouring to drink a Pepsi can, because again, Pepsi early in the 2000s was a big thing, and I know now it's not as big as it once was, but it is. And then when he starts trying to go to a church, he gets attacked by some priest, and he realizes, okay, something's not right. Then he gets saved by these two characters, Selena and Mark. And when this happens, he gets informed that the world has just gone completely to crap, that everything's been infected. Apparently the virus went to Paris, it went to New York, and this is only 28 days later. This is later 28 days later. And in the second movie, it's revealed after the 28 weeks, that's when they infected Paris. So, don't know how accurate everything is, again, with everything they've changed or what they've heard on the radio. And Selena and Mark show Jim the ropes on how to survive. And he's having a hard time. He goes to his parents' house. He realizes that they, off them on their own self so that way they could be with him because they didn't want to turn. And the way this works for the turning is if the blood gets on you or in your system, or if you get bitten, then within a matter of like 30 seconds, you can get turned into these monsters, and there is no cure as of right now. Then we see where Selena and Jim meet up with a father and daughter by the name of Frank and Hannah, and they become sort of like this little family for a time where they're having to rely on one each other and try to find some type of safety within Manchester. Now, they go through a lot to be able to get here, and then as soon as it seems like their hope's gone and Frank does not see that there is any so-called military or survivors, he gets angry and he tries to knock out a bird, and unfortunately a blood drops in his eye and he turns into these monsters. Now, Jim is about ready to take them down. Then the military does show up, what's left of this so-called military. They bring them to their off-the-books area that they pretty much have been using to just survive. There is no plan. We got this general that has been trying to keep his soldiers alive, but unfortunately they later find out that there was an agenda due to, as long as they were able to get women, that these soldiers would be happy. And of course you guys can use your own imaginations on that. Now, Jim gets almost pretty much killed, and so does the sergeant, because the sergeant tries to do the right thing. Unfortunately, they kill him too. Jim does something clever, and he uses his wits to be able to not only summon different types of infected to try to go after these soldiers, but at the same time go after them himself, release the infected soldiers that they've been keeping for however many months now at this time. And when this happens, we see where he saves Selena and Hannah, luckily by the skin of his teeth, and then they escape, and then they've been living together for however long after that, and then they're able to somehow show a plane for help, and that's how the movie ends. Now, I can see why people enjoy this film. It's very dramatic. It's very intensified. It back then it was probably scary as hell. Today, not really. I can see why again this would be a how would you feel kind of a movie, because is it the best zombie movie? I'm just gonna go ahead and say it now. Is it the best zombie movie? No. I think it was more in the dramatic and the, like you not knowing what's going to happen, who's going to turn, who's not going to turn, and what if you turn, how long do you have, things like that. I enjoyed myself with this film. There were some things in here I found funny, like when they go to the store and they're just going crazy, just buying a bunch of random stuff, and then they finally, Frank just leaves his credit card on the counter, or when they're trying to go through the tunnel and the tire breaks, and Jim, being a smartass, he says not the best place to have it flat now, is it? Just out of nowhere. And I think Murphy did a great job with this role. I've only seen him in a few things. Obviously, Peaky Blinders. I'm not fully how much of his career that he's done in movies or TV. But again, like I said, I enjoyed this film. I think it did very well at the time. Does it still hold up to this day? That's debatable. I know this was probably one of the first movies that they instilled running zombies. But overall, I think the movie was okay. Would I watch it again? Maybe if I forgot. But again, either way, I'm not too invested in this franchise right now. The second movie kind of made me feel even more about how I feel about the characters. But a lot of people I know want Jim to return and to see how long he's survived, because I know the third film is going to be 28 years later. So it's going to be rather interesting to see characters return that are still alive or possibly still alive, and figure out exactly how the virus has either mutated or how it's either gotten worse or it's gotten so-called better throughout the years. So let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments. If you guys ever seen 28 Days Later, either way, let me know what your thoughts are about it down in the comments. Like the video, share the video, and let me know what you guys think. I'll see you as always on the next one.